if you decide to work with a credit repair company, you need to really watch this video that I'm going to be putting together, because the rest of this video, because you could be making a big mistake if you sign up with the wrong service. Alright, we're going to be going inside here. I'm making it to my office so you can see that this is a real company. You know, not to say that it's bad if someone works out of their home, but you know, I have a staff, have an office, and you know, they work very hard for the customers. Alright, I'll see you in a few seconds. My name is Stephen Williams. I'm the founder of the Credit Repair Shop, and I want to go through this information with you. First, I want to congratulate you for taking the first step towards cleaning up your credit and getting yourself into a better position. You can get your free report that we promise. It's emailed directly to your email address that you used when you filled out the form on the previous page. Now, I'm going to walk through with you how each credit repair company, the process that it takes to get your credit repaired, and also I'm going to point out the differences between our company and other companies that are out there. First, every company, when you come in, you're going to go through what's called a customer intake. That's where they're going to get your ID, your Social Security. Each bureau requires that you show them proof of your address, and it has to be either a bill or something. It has to have your name and your current address on there, and it can't be no older than 30 days or they're going to reject it. And then we also need your credit reports from all three of the bureaus. If you're only able to get one, or we're only able to get one, we can start work from there. And we will also assist you with getting those reports. So if you don't have them right now, our job is to assist you in getting those reports, and most of the time we can help you get those reports for free. Now, something different that we do is that we have a goal sheet. Everyone that comes to that goes to get credit repaired usually has a reason behind it. They either went to get a car, they tried to get a mortgage or something, a credit card or something, and they were declined. So they have a specific goal, a reason for getting their credit repaired. And what we do is we target that reason first. So we do what's next, which is a review, which every company should do a review. If they're a legitimate credit repair company, they'll do a review. And when we do your review, we're going to see what was the reasons behind why you got denied for whatever credit that you were trying to get. And then every credit repair company will start the dispute process. This is where they're going to dispute the negative information on your credit report. And then the next step is from the results that you get back to us or to whatever company you're working with, there usually is going to be a redispute process off of the information that each of the bureaus put on your responses that they mail to you. Now, we originated what's called the validation system. Everybody, lately the credit repair companies have started using that word validation, and we came up with it years ago, more than 8-9 years ago, for validating negative information on your credit report. And a lot of people don't understand what that really means. What it means is that it doesn't matter if you have something negative or positive on your report, you have the right to validate that information. Each of the main three bureaus, these are independent companies, these are not federal agencies. So anyone, private or federal, you have a right to make sure that the information that they put out there about you is correct, regardless if it's a good credit or bad credit. And so we had came up with what's called an 8-point validation system. And if you decide to work with our company, we'll go into more detail about what that 8-point validation system is. But every company should use that, because if they're not using the validation system, they're just sending out letters and hoping that they can get things off of your credit report. Now, right here, this red line, that's where all the other credit reporting companies, repair companies stop. No company in the United States, not one other than us, goes past this line here. And what I mean by that is we start to dispute furnishers. So when you redispute the credit and it doesn't come off of the report, you don't get the goal that you wanted, all the other credit repair companies really stop working there, because there's nothing else that they want, that they even know what to do for you. And what we do is we take it steps further. Is we go after the furnishers, and we also go directly, when we say furnishers, that could be medical bills, that could be check systems. Say you can't get a checking account because you had a bad account in the past, and there's information on there that might be correct or incorrect. We could go into there and get that either taken off so you can get a bank account, and we can do it by several different ways, and we go into those if you decide to become a customer. And the same with medical bills, we can do that. Let's say that you have a landlord eviction situation, which a lot of people ran into, so you can't even rent a place in a good neighborhood because you had that eviction on your report. The other companies, they don't get involved in stuff like that. We can work out situations with your previous landlords to get that information off of your public records, and so you can be able to get a place where you want to get to, move into a place where you want to move into. Repossessions of vehicles, autos, trucks, SUVs, we work with that also, so we can get that off of your report. But also, if they're coming after you for the extra money after they sold it at auction, or they're saying that you owe this huge amount of money for a car that was repossessed, they stop there. They don't know what to do with those types of situations. We know what to do with those. The same with payday loans. Let's say that you got an internet payday loan. They had very high interest rates. We've seen clients that came in that had a 1,000% interest rate, which means that regardless of the payments that they make, it's going to be almost impossible for someone that has very limited funds to pay off a 1,000% interest loan. We've worked out situations where we were able to get the payments readjusted, the interest rate lowered, or we were able to just settle out the whole account for a small amount of money. So the payday loan was gone, off of their credit report, and the collection agency wasn't trying to garnish their wages or come after them for any extra money. Student loans. What we do for student loans is we can renegotiate to get you a lower payment, so you don't have them taking so much money either out of your paycheck or that they're not asking for so much money. We can get that adjusted according to your net income. Taxes for state and federal, and there is an extra fee for this one because there's a lot of paperwork that must be done, but we can help you if you have any state or federal taxes that are owed. But the best part about it is that we can get those cut down for very small amounts of money, and we've been able to do it. One account that comes to mind is a lady owed $136,000 to the state. We were able to get that down to $10,000, and that's a big difference because the interest was accruing every day. There was no way she was going to be able to pay that off. But her family came together and came up with $10,000, and we were able to get that settled for her. And we can do that for state and federal. And you don't have to come up with a lump sum payment. In most cases, we're able to get a small down payment and then small monthly payments to be able to pay off the taxes. But the big important part that you need to understand is that we get you into a situation where you're not going to pay the full amount back to them. Liens. Maybe you have liens that are against the property, and if you sell it, they're going to come after you for that money. This is the same as working with collection agencies and we will go to that lien holder, work out some type of an agreement, a smaller amount as a settlement, and be able to get you to where you can sell your piece of property or have that lien taken off your property so you can refinance it or do whatever you need to do. Cease and desist with debt collectors. Maybe you have debt collectors calling your home and they're harassing you. They can call your neighbors. They can call your job and put your job in jeopardy. They can do all types of things to be able to make you try to pay that money. And what we can do is we can take that stress and pressure off of you and have them start calling our office. They will leave you alone, and we will let them know that we are working with you to get your financial situation in control, so we will be able to make them an offer to settle sometime in the future. Court summons assistance. Maybe you're being sued by a debt collector for an original creditor, or maybe a debt collector that purchased an old debt that you had. They're taking you to court and you received a court summons. We can show you how to go to court and to write a response to that summons. We can write it for you, or we'll show you what you have to do to answer, to properly answer that in court, and to turn the situation around to where you will actually make them want to settle for pennies on the dollar because of the way that you answer that summons. A lot of people just let those summons go and they don't show up to court, and they're giving up a lot of their rights, to where some of the times we found that you don't even have to pay the money because the way that it was responded to, the company was not able to prove that you had to pay the debt. Mortgage deeds. Let's say that you know that you need to leave your home, that you're not going to be able to afford the monthly payments on your mortgage. We can approach your lien holder and tell them that you want to give your deed to them so they don't have to go to court and pay thousands of dollars to their attorney to take you to court and chase you down. We can get you up to $4,000 to $5,000 to leave your home, and what they do is they just request that you clean it up and then you give the keys, and that it's not a hostile repossession of your property. And we've negotiated those for many clients all across the country, and we can do that for you if you find yourself in that situation. Also, mortgage modification, and there is an extra fee for doing that because there's a lot of paperwork that's involved, but we can approach your mortgage company and see if there is a real possibility of doing a mortgage modification. We are very upfront with you on this. We don't tell you things that aren't able to happen. And before there's any extra fees, we would actually contact the company to see if it is possible. And then if it is possible to do the modification or to lower the payment, whatever is possible, then we would contact you and go and let you know what's available for you. And then if that works, then we can start filling out all of the paperwork to get that process going, because there's a lot of paperwork, but there's no reason to do that paperwork if your mortgage provider is not willing to work with you. So you can see all of the value with that. And then, like I talked about, we do the settlements. So if you have, for all of this stuff here, if it gets to that point to where it's not validated fully, then we go into the settlement process. And that process is to where it could be one at a time, depending on your finances, one at a time, two at a time, all of them at one time, but you're not going to pay the full amount to get those that information settled, those collection accounts settled, or those original creditor balances settled. We're going to make sure that you get the best discount possible to be able to do that. And what that does is it gets you into a very good situation. It can avoid you from having to file bankruptcy or doing anything that can hurt your credit even more. And then the next step here is where we show you how to rebuild your credit, and then also give you business advice. I'm the owner of several different companies that are very successful, and I can give you information. If you're looking to start your own business, or maybe you have a business and you want to know how to make that business grow, everyone that signs up as a client with the Credit Repair Shop also gets a free consultation with me, where you can let me know what you're going through with your business, and then I'll tell you what I would do if I owned that company, the exact steps that I would take to get that revenue up, to get your marketing going, to make your business become the success that you want it to be. Now, the other companies that are out there, I've seen where they charge, maybe $59 a month, $79, $89. I've seen it, as high as, $150 a month, $200 a month. And they charge that up front. Before they've done any of the major work for you, they're going to charge you an amount up front before they do anything. What we do is we want to show you and gain your trust and show you that we're here for you, that we want to do this work for you and get you results before we even get our first payment. And also with these companies, from what I've seen, they just have continuous payments forever. And we don't do that. What we do is we start you off at $9.95 activation. And that's so you can get all of your paperwork into the funnel. It lets us know that you're serious about getting your credit repaired. But it's just $9.95 to start. And then 30 days later, you have your first payment of $125, but you're going to get responses and results within 20 to 30 days. You're going to get responses usually before this payment is due, and we're going to call to remind you. You don't have to worry about it. Just be in charge of your account. We're going to call you. We're going to remind you. We're going to ask you if you got any results back yet. And then and we're going to tell you how you can get those results over to us, and then we'll let you know that your payment is coming due. We do it at least 5 days before your payment is due, just as a reminder. And then after that, you just have 2 more payments. Just 2 more payments of $125. So $9.95 to start. First payment isn't due until 30 days of $125, and then you have 2 more payments, and they're both set 30 days apart from each other, of $125 and then $125 after that, and then you're done. And we continue working on your file for the full year to get everything taken care of. And especially, you should think about this. If you have any of these issues on your report, you should really think about who you sign up with, because these companies are only going to take you so far, and it would be very painful to you to know that you didn't achieve your goal because you had some of these things here that were validated. So if it's validated, no matter what this company does, they can send papers out month after month after month, but that's not going to make that stuff go away. When we do the settlements, if it comes to doing a settlement, if it was validated, we also do the settlement to get that negative information off of your report. So they are not going to go that far. So you have to really, really think about who you're going to trust to do the work for you. Also, we're being very transparent by making this video. I'm here in my office making this video. A lot of companies, they don't go this far. And in a few moments, I'm going to take you to meet some of the staff so you can see what they do and see who you would be talking to on the phone, communicating through the portal, communicating through the email, just so you can see the whole process of how all of this works. So let's move on to the other office.
Are we on video?
Yeah.
Start with Joe.
All right. This is the next step in your credit repair process. Introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Greg, and I'll be the one signing you up when you first come. This is the form you will fill out, and this gives us the power of attorney to negotiate debt on your behalf. And a lot of times it might come to that in the event we can't make them delete it, because we will have to make them settle it. Okay?
All right. And then we'll go over here. Introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Jamil. I'm the next step. And after you fill out the power of attorney form, the very next thing we do is that we go on ahead and pull your credit reports.
Okay. And then what's the next step?
Once we have your credit reports, then we acquire your ID, your social security card, and a piece of mail. The reason we need your ID, social security card, and piece of mail, we send that every time.
Wait, hold on. Give it 2 seconds and then start with the next step is.
Okay. The next step is we get your ID, social security card, and piece of mail. We submit that every time we send a dispute on your behalf. And it has to be all on one sheet. The reason why we format it that way, so it'll be easy for them to see and not for them to try to stall you, because they will send back something saying that, who are you? And then that'll take 30 days for you to send all of that. It's a 30-day process. That's a stall factor they use, so that's why we send that on your behalf.
Okay, and then what's the next step, Jimmy?
The very next step is, after that, is that we enter your results on the computer right here. What you're going to do is you're going to get an email from us, and that email allows you to check our progress on a daily basis. And then I'll take this form here, and I'll put it in the box here, and Mr. Stewart here will take it from there.
All right, so it will go into this box here, and then after that, Mr. Stewart will get that folder. All right, first introduce yourself, and then we'll tell them what you do.
My name is Kewan Stewart, actually here at the Credit Repair Shop, and what I'll do is I'll actually enter all of your disputes, and also I do all the phone calls, all the negotiation, any landlords that you have problems with, anything that you feel that is very important on your credit report, I'll deal with that. That's my job. That's what I do. Guys, if you have any questions, give me a call, 414-255-8507. And just always remember that never forget, never, ever, ever worry about tomorrow, because today has enough problems in it. So worry about what's going on today. Focus on your credit today. Don't focus on tomorrow. All right, you guys have a blessed one.